You're scrolling through real estate listings at midnight, and every single house that doesn't look like it's about to collapse costs $500,000. The kitchen has laminate countertops from 2003. The carpet is beige. There's fake wood paneling in the basement. And the listing agent has the audacity to call it a starter home. Meanwhile, you're sitting there doing mental math on your salary, wondering if you've somehow missed a massive promotion, or if the entire housing market has collectively lost its mind. Spoiler alert, it's not you, it's the math. And the math is absolutely brutal. My name is Pratap, and today we're going to do something that real estate agents hate. We're going to calculate who can actually afford a $500,000 house in 2026. Not who the bank will give a loan to, but who can legitimately afford it without turning their life into a financial stress simulator. Because there's a massive difference between qualifying for a mortgage and actually being able to sleep at night after you sign the paperwork. Let's start with the uncomfortable reality. In dozens of US markets right now, $500,000 is the baseline. That's not getting you a mansion. That's getting you a 1,200 square FT box with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a yard the size of a beach towel in cities like Denver, Austin, or anything within commuting distance of a major metro. $500,000 is what normal people are expected to somehow come up with 4 normal houses. Median household income in America is around $84,000. And so, we're asking people making $84,000 to afford homes that cost 6 times their annual income. If that ratio sounds insane to you, congratulations, you're paying attention. But everyone keeps saying you can do it. The mortgage broker says you're approved. Your parents bought the house on way less. Some influencer on TikTok is flipping houses with no money down. So, what's the problem? The problem is that everyone is lying to you about what affordable actually means. Let's start with the down payment, because that's where most people's dreams go to die. The old rule was 20% down on a $500,000 house. That's $100,000 cash. Let me say that again. $100,000. The median savings account in America has around, you're $92,000 short. And before you say you'll just save it, let's do that math too. If you're making $84,000 a year and somehow manage to save 10% of your gross income, which almost nobody does, you're saving $8,400 per year. At that rate, it'll take you 12 years to save the down payment, assuming housing prices don't go up, which they absolutely will. Okay, so you skip the 20% down payment. It's like you put down 5% or 10% instead, which is what most people actually do. Congratulations! Just unlocked a new expense called private mortgage insurance. This is the fee you pay every single month for the crime of not being wealthy enough to put 20% down. It's essentially a poverty tax that runs anywhere from $200 to $400 per month, depending on your loan. You're paying extra money every month for insurance. That protects the bank, not you, because they're worried you might default. So you're already starting from a position of financial punishment. Now, let's talk about the actual mortgage payment. You'll put down 10%, which is $50,000 that you somehow scrape together. That leaves you with a $450,000 loan at current interest rates. Somewhere in the 6% to 7% range, depending on your credit. Your monthly mortgage payment is going to land around $2,750 to $2,850. That's just principal and interest. That number doesn't include a single other thing. You need to actually live in the house. Let's add property taxes. Depending on where you live, you're looking at anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000. per year, which works out to roughly $500 per month if we're being conservative. Then there's homeowners insurance, which has skyrocketed in the past few years thanks to climate change making everything more expensive to insure. You're looking at another $250 to $350 per month, depending on your location and whether your house is in a flood zone, fire zone, or tornado alley. Then there's maintenance, the thing everyone forgets about until the water heater explodes at 11 p.m. on a Sunday. The general rule is to budget 1% of your home's value per year for maintenance and repairs. On a $500,000 house, that's $5,000 annually, or about $417 per month. And don't forget the PMI we talked about earlier. Tack on another $200 to $400. So let's add this up. Mortgage payment, $2,850 property taxes, $500 and insurance, $300 maintenance, $417 PMI, $300. Your total monthly housing cost is now sitting at roughly $4,367, and that's assuming nothing breaks. You don't need a new roof, and your HOA doesn't randomly decide to repave the entire neighborhood and send you a $3,000 bill. Here's where it gets really fun. Financial advisors will tell you that you shouldn't spend more than 28% of your gross monthly income on housing. Banks will approve you if your total debt-to-income ratio is under 43%. Let's reverse engineer this. If you're spending $4,367 per month on housing, and that represents 28% of your income, you need to be making roughly $187,000 per year. If we use the more lenient 43% rule, you still need to be pulling in around $150,000 annually. And now we arrive at the punchline. Only about 10% too. 20% of U.S. households make $150,000 or more, which means 80% of American households cannot comfortably afford a $500,000 house under any reasonable financial standard. This isn't an opinion. This is just math being crude. But you're thinking, people are still buying these houses. Who are these people? Some of them have dual incomes in high-paying fields. Some of them have family money. Some of them are stretching themselves so thin that one medical bill or job loss would collapse their entire financial life.